Hello viewers. So today we are going to record third part of with the five speaker series. Today we have Harshdeep and Akshaya with us, who are actually serving in Navy, and I've known them for past 5-6 years. So now I'm going to ask them to actually introduce themselves so we can know a bit more about how they are doing, what they are doing, etc. So let's start with Akshaya first. So hey Akshaya. Would you tell
Hi.
us something about yourself?
Hi viewers, I am Lieutenant Akshaya. I'm currently posted in Andaman and Nicobar Islands, which is Port Blair. I am a staff observer at INS Utkarsh.
Great. So, yeah, go ahead, Harshdeep. Please introduce yourself.
Hi viewers, I'm Commander Harshdeep. I am also posted in Port Blair, Andaman Nicobar Islands. I'm a gunnery officer on board an Indian naval platform, and that's a brief.
Yeah, wonderful. So now we will start with few questions about your background, your student life, to better understand how you actually, got into this career. So currently, would you like to take over and start with it?
Yeah. Thank you. Thank you, Rich. And thank you so much, Harsh and Akshay, for being here. You guys, I
You're
think
welcome.
anyone from the armed forces, you guys are the true hero of this country. And we thank you for your amazing service. And we are just so much blessed to have you on board for the speaker series. I think this would be a tremendous session for us. So we would go with with the first with the first question. So the format would be just a simple one. So it
Yeah.
would be background, then your career journey, your student life. And the first one is a background. So we just want to know like what is your background, what is your home city, which education you did, and then where are you currently working on, and what is your typical workday look like. So Harsh, if you want to go first.
Yes, I would like to. Uh, I'm born and brought up in Delhi. I did my schooling from Delhi. Then I did my
Okay.
college from Delhi, IP
Oh wow.
University.
Mm-hmm.
So this is for my education qualifications. I'm a BTech, and that is why I could enter into the armed forces through the BTech entry. Uh, the ways that you can enter, the ways that you can
Mm-hmm.
enroll yourself in the armed forces, we'll subsequently cover. As far as my childhood and the upbringing and how I chose my career path, I'll gradually make up to it. Now, there's a special policy, an unsaid, unwritten rule in my school that all our principals are retired defense officers. So, as children, we always see our principals and we always look up to them. We've always seen them conduct themselves in a way which defense officers are supposed to. So, during our kindergarten time, our primary wing time, there is not much interaction that a child has with the principal. It's
Yes.
only when we grew up, it's only when we entered our 10th standard that we
Mm-hmm.
started interacting with our school principal. So my principal in those days was Captain Indian Navy, George Jacob.
Okay.
He's a retired, yes, he's a retired captain from the Indian Navy, and sir was our principal. We used to speak to him. Uh, he used to make us feel comfortable in asking as many questions we had about anything,
Okay.
be it life, be it studies, be it career. I'll give you a small example. I'm not an MBA, but I've
Mm-hmm.
heard that prioritization,
Mm-hmm.
the various concepts of how you prioritize your resources, then different levels of communication,
Mm-hmm.
how you conduct yourself, basic etiquettes. These things were covered by our principal in 10th standard.
Okay.
So One day he came up to us and he used to address all of us as friends. So he comes to our class and the ruckus is suddenly turned into pin drop silence. And
Okay.
I remember he's a tall, lanky, healthy fellow.
Mm-hmm.
He had a presence 6 feet 2, and he comes into the class and says, "Friends, I'd like to have your attention." He said, "What if you're in a boat, a small boat?
Mm-hmm.
You got certain things with you. You know your boat is about to sink.
Okay.
What things will you carry with you? What are the things that you'll put in a small backpack or even a t-shirt or anything that you have around you?
Okay.
Because you know you cannot carry everything."
Yes.
So our minds are open now. He's got our attention. So we ask him, "Sir, what are the items that we have?" So he tells us a bottle of rum.
Mm-hmm.
Then he says a sextant. It is a
Mm-hmm.
tool which we use in navigation,
Okay.
which we use. Yes, it helps us in astro navigate. It helps us to navigate ourselves using the stars, the heavenly bodies.
Okay.
Then he tells us that you have a heliograph. Then he tells us there are a lot of things which I'm forgetting because I remember there
Mm-hmm.
was no water. There was no water.
Okay.
So uh, we remember being children that why would we carry, we need to save ourselves. Why will we carry
Yeah.
rum? Why will we
Mm-hmm.
carry a sextant?
Mm-hmm.
We need a life, but then there's no
Mm-hmm.
life jacket.
Okay.
So then he told us slowly and gradually when he brought us to his level, he tried to bring us to his level. He told us when you're hurt, because when your boat sinks,
Mm-hmm.
something is bound to happen. You're bound to get wounded. The only antiseptic or a wound healer you have around is your rum.
Okay.
The sextant will probably help you go to the nearest shore.
Okay.
The heliograph will help you to gain somebody's attention.
Okay.
So that is how you prioritize, is what he told us.
Okay.
These things, they started clicking in my head. I used to see the way he used to walk, the way he used
Mm-hmm.
to talk, the way he used to manage things. Every day in the morning when the school used to start, there were three entrance gates to my school. I used to see him doubling up from one gate to the other, to the third. He's greeting parents, he's greeting children,
Mm-hmm.
finds
Mm-hmm.
anybody whose shoes are not polished, he straight away sent back home. No excuse, no reasoning,
Mm-hmm.
just a very polite, "Thank you very much, child, go back home." That's all. So, this decisive, certain nature that he had, and the vast knowledge that he had, and the intention to
Mm-hmm.
impart that knowledge to his juniors
Okay.
was what inspired me. Then I was talking with him. We used to speak quite often. So, in during my school days, I was a lot fatter. I was almost 97 kilos. So I knew I needed some time to get in shape.
Mm-hmm.
Then that is why I did not enter into the direct NDA or INA
Okay.
entrance, which I'll tell subsequently. So I groomed myself in the 4 years of engineering that I did from Indraprastha University, Delhi, and I had a lot of time at hand, and I had a lot of time to speak to him and gather more information. And then to cut it down short, right from my school, I knew I
Mm-hmm.
had to go to Indian Navy.
Okay.
It was not Army, it was not Air Force, it was Indian Navy. So
Okay.
I am a few of the lot.
Okay. So you knew
So
beforehand what
yes,
you need. Yeah, you are, I think, the first speaker who said that. Because whosoever speakers I've talked to, like it's they with subsequent experiences throughout their life, that's when they knew, okay, this is what I want to do. But for you, it's very clear that this is
see,
exactly
yeah,
what you wanted.
that's why I told you I could relate to it because another thing, I'll be very honest. I had
Mhm.
no clue what the Navy does. Okay.
Okay.
Still, I wanted to go there.
Okay.
I thought I'll see what life brings into store.
Mhm.
And then I remember, there was yes, there are a lot of incidents which I remember now, uh, since we've started talking.
Mhm.
All schools, I guess, they have an annual day. They've got various
Yes.
get-togethers planned. I remember my principal. He's just walking down the quadrangle of my school, and he's telling the gardener, "आपने गमले ठीक नहीं लगाए."
Oh. Mhm.
I'm I'm wondering. I was the chief marshal of my school, so that is like the
Mhm.
disciplinary head, and
Okay.
I'm a huge fellow. I'm 97 kilos. I've got baton in my hand,
Mhm.
so people are usually scared of me. So
Mhm.
I'm taking rounds and I'm ensuring everything is in place. And I see the school's principal telling the gardener that the gamla are not in place. I I just cannot match his frequency. I start thinking that gamle खराब कैसे हो सकते हैं? गमले तो गमले हैं.
Mhm.
गमले
Mhm.
को रखो. Plant तो plant है. So I
Correct.
politely go up to him and I ask him, sir, गमले खराब कैसे हो सकते हैं? I see
Mhm.
the leaves are green.
Okay.
The the plants are watered. So what is that? What is that you want? He tells me, and everything has a proper way of doing. So he tells me it's either proper or improper.
Mhm.
Told me if I line these gamlas in this way, and
Mhm.
when you walk down this red carpet, won't you feel
Mhm.
nice?
Okay.
So I said, yes, sir, I'll feel nice.
Mhm.
He said, then that's the proper way to do it. So the intricacies that people can go, the level of expertise that they demand is
Mhm.
what basically armed forces are about. Your
Okay.
job as
Mhm.
defense officers is to demand perfection again and again, again and again.
Okay.
We know perfection
Mhm.
may not be achieved. I will not say cannot be achieved, may not be
Mhm.
achieved. But then it has to be your endeavor to continually ask your subordinates and yourself to work towards one goal is achieving perfection. So that
Okay.
when the day comes that you're being tested, you pass with flying colors. So this is the motive, and this is how I got inspired, and I wanted to join the Indian Navy.
So Akshay, if you can
Yeah.
just tell your background and what
Okay.
your typical day looks like.
So I am a KV student and I've been
Okay.
traveling India because my father was in Air Force.
Okay.
After he retired, we got settled in Delhi, and then my education was done in Delhi itself. I've done my BTech in Delhi only, IP University.
Okay.
And why I did BTech is because throughout from my childhood, I
Mhm.
had my father in defense like already, and
Okay.
I have seen that life, and I was
Okay.
inspired by that. But there was a day when I decided that I want to fly. That day was
Okay.
when I might be in seventh or eighth class when we went to see an air
Mhm.
show at Yalanka, Bangalore.
Okay.
So during rehearsals, all the armed forces people are called, not on the final
Okay.
day. So during rehearsals, we went, all the family members went, and I asked my father कि पापा मुझे उनसे मिलना है जो ये एयरक्राफ्ट फ्लाई कर रहे थे.
Mhm.
Then he
Mhm.
said, okay, मैं मिलाता हूँ. I went and I saw them coming in their green overalls, wearing Ray-Ban, and just
Okay.
looking at them, I was so impressed. I thought कि मुझे ना यही करना है, मुझे ये पहनना है. इन्होंने जो
Okay.
पहना हुआ है ये सब. That was a childish dream. So after that, I got a keen interest in flying, and I kept listening also, and I kept searching for what I can do to get into flying. Then that childish dream became serious when I did my 10th class, and then I got to know कि women cannot go into NDA.
Oh,
So,
okay.
because then I asked my uncles who were already in IT industry. They
Okay.
said that you should have a plan B also. So for
Okay.
plan B, what should I do? That was mentored by my uncles because they were already into IT industry and they said that it is a
Mm-hmm.
good life and IT was booming at that time.
Okay.
So I chose computer science in 11th class so that
Mm-hmm.
during BTech also I can pursue the same course and I did computer science engineering and I worked in Wipro Technologies and I was
Okay.
continuously giving SSBs. I was merit out twice and conferenced out once. So in total, I gave four SSBs. Navy was the one which selected me. And this
Okay.
profession, I fly, but I'm not a pilot, unfortunately.
Okay.
But just
Okay.
because through my friends also who were already into NDA, who are already in armed forces right now also, they also counseled me saying that the ratio of the students attempting SSBs and the people who are selected finally
Mm-hmm.
after
Mm-hmm.
after the merit list also, it is very less. So you
Okay.
should have a plan B. So I had various mentors, my friends and my uncles. So I was
Mm-hmm.
working side by side also, and when I got Navy, I thought कि यही option है.
Okay.
Whenever you get the opportunity, you should grab it.
Grab
So
it. Correct.
pilot nahi ban pai, it's okay, but still I fly,
Mm-hmm.
so I'm fortunate that I fly.
That's yeah.
So that is my journey.
That's a great background, Akshay. And see, this is very different than what Harsh had. So you were just
Yeah.
like you knew what you want to do, but you still had a plan B. So it's really good to have both of you on this on our speaker series. The next one is your student life. So Harsh already explained that his principal had a huge influence on him, and I
Yeah.
think he is one of your role models. Like whatever I heard, you felt very excited to share
Yeah.
how much influence he had on your life. So I want to go towards a different path. So
Yeah.
this one, like we knew that you knew this is what you want to do, but at any point did you feel like you are under some peer pressure, because student life is very different. So now we are much more matured, we know, okay, this is what we want to do. But even our viewers, who most of our students, they have so much uncertainties, they have so much peer pressure. So I want to take you down towards that path, like what parts of your student life you did not enjoy, how did you handle peer pressure and all those things. Harsh, you want to go first, please?
Yes. Uh, it might sound unreal.
Hmm.
I've never succumbed to peer pressure ever.
Okay, okay.
There are probably two reasons to it. What
Hmm.
I think, now that you've mentioned, so it started, this chemical reaction started in my head.
Okay.
Was I ever part of this peer pressure? So
Hmm.
uh, I was never part of the peer pressure. I never succumbed
Okay.
to peer pressure. So I think the two reasons, as I've told, are probably, first of all, you need to have your friends very close.
Correct.
Once you have your group of friends with you, you move like an entity anywhere you go. So the concept of peer pressure, it may arise through people probably doing better than you, and then
Hmm.
you feel joining them.
Okay.
People may be doing something extraordinary or out of the ordinary, and then you probably inclining towards doing that. But once, as I told earlier, once you have your group of friends very close,
Hmm.
the concept of envy, the concept
Hmm.
of jealousy, the concept of peer pressure, it never comes in. One friend is doing amazingly well,
Hmm.
will give you happiness. Do not succumb to peer pressure. So in my particular part, in my case, during my childhood, I picked
Hmm.
up table tennis. So I was I was lucky enough. I was trained by the Indian national coach in Ajmer. I had this camp which I attended. There was this, pardon me, there was this training for World Championship going on between the Yugoslavian team and the Indian team. So there was this practice going on. So I was part of it. And you know what I wanted to do? I wanted to bring my friends in along. So I wanted my friends to be part of that. So I'm calling them in Delhi ke, if you can come, आ जाओ यार, ride a train, come to Ajmer. नहीं मिलेगा तो कोई नहीं, बाहर खेल लेंगे दीवार पे. We play on the wall. Come on. It's very childish. So peer pressure, never. So then you see that even the fingers in this hand are all different. So the group of friends that you have, all friends will have different personalities. So when you say peers, particularly since you mentioned peers, they're all bound to be different. So there are times when you see that you cannot do what he or she is doing.
Yes.
You cannot do the entire spectrum of things which are there. So you need to just go with that. It's a fact. You need to realize that. I know, for example, I know I couldn't have cracked the IIT. Anybody.
Okay.
I don't have the aptitude for it. And I was fine by it.
Okay.
So the earlier you realize, probably the lesser time you waste trying to fight yourself. Because you're not fighting the system or you're not fighting the studies, you're fighting yourself. Just peer pressure. Don't do it. Find your strength.
But yeah, exactly, finding your strength. But you said that you knew you could not crack IIT. So how did you come to that conclusion? Because that's one of the reason like students go through so much, because everyone wants to do crack IIT or AIMS. So how did
Why?
you knew? Okay, yeah.
That's the main question that children need to ask themselves. Why? Why do I want to go to IIT? Why do I want to go to AIMS? Has one Uncle Sharma told them? Somebody told them? That's the main point which I'm trying to bring out. You find your strength. You prove yourself. See, we've got friends who've tried year in and year out. They've wasted years. It might not be wasting years. Anything that you learn will help you somewhere, right? Education is never waste. Learning is never a waste. But then again, if somewhere deep down you know that you might not be able to make it, it's better to come to terms with it and prepare for something that you can definitely do. Which probably somebody who's cracking the IIT might not be able to do. Right?
Yes, that's an interesting point. Yeah.
That's what I'm bringing forward. You see, my standards. There's a college in Patiala, if you know, it's called Thapar University.
Yeah, Thapar Technical University. Yeah.
So that was my dream college. I want to go to Thapar. I never filled in IIT's form. I never bought it. So Thapar is my dream. It's my dream. Why it's my dream? It's got a good campus. It's near Chandigarh. I can have a lot of fun. I'm never thinking of studies. So I end up in Delhi, IP University.
Okay.
And it eventually turned out good for me. So what I'm trying to bring out is, just keep on doing what you are good at and you'll reach there. Okay. You don't have to worry. Give it time. Just keep on doing and don't let go.
Okay.
Once anybody, yourself, for example, you have something in your mind. I might achieve it. You just keep on doing it, working for it. You'll reach there. I was so confident. Some might call it overconfidence,
Mhm.
but right from school and then college and
Mhm.
then my small stint with a company called Computer Sciences Corporation. Yeah, Richard,
Mhm.
uh, I knew I'll be going to Indian Navy.
Okay.
That was the first SSB that I applied for. That was the first SSB that I got through. And then I joined the Indian Navy. One day I remember politely telling my manager, uh, IT has this culture of not sirs and ma'ams and just by name. So I tell him he
Mhm.
was an elder man, and I'm not comfortable
Mhm.
calling him by. But then that's how they want it. So he's telling, I tell him, Pankaj, I'm quitting. You know
Mhm.
what? What? Where are you quitting? Where are you quitting? It's not possible.
Mhm.
I don't think I'm
Mhm.
quitting. So then
Mhm.
he's telling, then he's checking the policies, and then he's. So I knew it. I'll get through Indian Navy.
Okay.
So the major thing that played its role was positivity. Just be positive. Try and
Okay.
get the best of your environment. Try and get the best from your peers.
Mhm.
This peer pressure concept, I don't know why it's existing. I should not exist. This is what I feel.
Yeah.
The concept of peers is to move together. That's why they call peers. People you are with. You getting my point?
That. Yeah. That's
Does it
a
make sense?
great.
Does it make sense?
It
Am I
does.
able to make
It
sense?
Yeah, absolutely.
Okay.
definitely. It.
So that's what I want to bring forward. Once you've got a bunch of friends or you got a bunch of people around you, try and inculcate their best habits, their best abilities, and try and get positivity out of them. It's almost like stealing. Take their positivity out.
That's a
So
great.
you
I think that's a great take on peer pressure.
you'll go a long way. I've never
Mhm.
had peer pressure. Never ever had peer pressure. And to be very honest, I've seen
Mhm.
my there comes a time when children start addressing you as uncle. So somehow I've reached that level. So now I've got nieces and I've got nephews. So I see them. They've got a different approach to life. That is also one of the reasons I wanted to be part of this. They have a lot going on in this small mind of theirs.
Mhm.
They should declutter. Just declutter. Enjoy your life every day. There is nothing that's stopping you from doing it.
Correct.
Right?
That's
Go and play.
very interesting take. Yeah.
Go and
And this
talk to
is
your friends.
and this is what we want to target, Harsh. You just
Yeah.
exactly at our point that students are thinking just too much that I have to create IIT, I have to go to Google, I have to join Facebook. And this is the sort of mentality we want to target that is not life. Like just you said, like find out your strength and keep doing it again and again so that you're very good at it, you're very happy. So
Yes.
that's really good. So next,
Sorry,
how? Yes, yes,
just
Harsh,
sorry.
please.
I'll just interrupt once. I'm sorry.
Sure thing.
I'm a little excited sharing my stories.
Sure.
Uh,
And we love that. We love that.
you know, in IP University, when you're taking exams for your semester,
Mhm.
you are given centers to appear into, just like
Correct.
CBSE board. So you go to different colleges to appear for exams. I remember there was this civilian, pardon me, there was this gentleman who used to serve water. His job
Okay.
is he's just serving water whilst you are writing your exam.
Mhm.
He was probably a peon in that college.
Mhm.
So I see him. That guy is so happy.
Mhm.
He'll sing while serving you water. He know the students are writing exams, they are under a lot of pressure, they've got time crunch, they are writing and probably burning the paper with their pens. There's so much friction going on. So there's this melodious voice coming in the room, and then we know Pani wala bhaiya aa gaye. So you come down, and then suddenly you realize the next day that you wrote two more answers.
Oh.
So when you've got so much positivity around, take that. Just ditch the negativity. On the last day of our exam, we took a photograph with that uncle. We used to speak even after that. He's a good. He's still there.
That's great.
Yeah.
Yeah. And this is
Just
what,
take.
like, we don't need, yeah, and we don't need to look at like role models.
Yeah.
We can get all those role models within us. Like,
Yes.
just say you said, like a peer. So just if we start seeing positivity, we can see it in everyone. So that's
Yes.
very, very interesting points, Harsh. I'm just so proud you are today with us. And then let's shift focus to Akshay. So Akshay, you have huge shoes to fill in. So I just want to ask your take about your school life because you did not discuss a lot. So what you
Yeah.
went through during your school life, what peer pressures or any pressure that you faced during that time, and how did you target it? Like, how did you resolve it?
Yeah, I think this is a very important question. It was not,
Hmm.
for me, it was not peer pressure, but it was
Hmm.
pressures from different uncles, different aunties, different
Okay.
people who know me and my family. And especially
Okay.
for a female, because I belong to Haryana. So the
Hmm.
mentality of the people who are there in Haryana at my time was कि लड़की है इसको टीचर बना दो, easy life.
Exactly.
Okay.
Hmm.
So I discussed my aspirations with my parents as well, and they were happy about it. They wanted me to
Hmm.
see in the uniform and overalls and all. But then, because of other people, they also started thinking that is she taking a wrong step, और इसकी लाइफ बहुत ज्यादा टफ हो जाएगी, इसकी शादी कैसे हो गई,
Hmm.
कैसे ये हैंडल
Correct.
करेगी, and all these things. But speaking of peers, I
Hmm.
had many friends who wanted to join defense, and main the I feel that I was the one who was adamant to join defense only. So
Okay.
because of my friends, we used to study together, which helped me.
Hmm.
I never had problems with my peers. The only problem I had was those who were coming to my house, those who were discussing कि आपकी बेटी क्या करेगी. No one, I remember, no one complimented my decision. No one. Everybody told me कि या तो computer science करा दो, it is a good
Hmm.
job, बहुत पैसा मिलेगा and all. But defense में it is not easy life. कहाँ posting
Hmm.
हो गई पता नहीं. फिर then marriage issues and all the lifelong issues. They wanted me to have an easy life. They also don't know that how a life of a naval person is or an air force person is. They don't know, but still for a female they had this perception that we should choose a life which is easy and which is very accommodating when I am a family woman.
Okay.
So for me that was the pressure because my father also started doubting me because I was not so much good into my grades. And
Okay.
there were my friends talking about that IIT thing. All my friends, they scored more than me. I was
Hmm.
the least score person. And
Okay.
Yes.
when one of my friend was in IIT, and the other friends they were into Agrasen and Surajmal and
Hmm.
USIT and all. They also gave SSB. None of them was selected. Only I was selected. एंड
Cool.
दे वर लाइक यार तेरे जैसे ना ऐसे कूल होना चाहिए यार, तू टेंशन नहीं लेती
Hmm.
है, यू एंजॉय लाइफ, इसलिए तू
Hmm.
सेलेक्ट हो गई है.
Hmm.
दैट्स नॉट ट्रू. आई एक्चुअली स्टडीड अ लॉट फॉर एसएसबी. आई वाज वेरी स्कैर्ड फॉर फर्स्ट एसएसबी. आई स्टडीड
Hmm.
वेरी मच. दैट हार्ड वर्क पेड मी. बट पीपल थिंक कि कूल होना चाहिए, बट द
Hmm.
person who was in IIT, he did not clear the screening day that we have, the first round
Okay.
only. He was rejected, but he was into IIT. Now he recently gave the IAS exam, and unfortunately his name did not come. But he's into Indian Railways right now, and he
Okay.
got a rank of 53 in Indian Engineering Services also.
Mhm.
So he's good at that.
Yeah.
Everybody has something that they are good at. For me, it was very like I was lucky that I knew what I will do. And because I was so determined that I worked very hard during working also. When I was working in Wipro, I used to study
Mhm.
a lot for SSB because I was rejected thrice. And I wanted to give as many attempts as I can. Whatever opportunity was coming, I was grabbing
Mhm.
that. Then I was selected. But suppose I was not selected for that. I had plan B also. I was
Mhm.
equally, not equally, but I was working for something for plan B too. If not Indian Navy, I would have done good
Mhm.
in my IT profession also.
Okay.
So wherever life takes you, it is not that if you don't achieve your goal, you should not be, you should not feel that your life has ended or you don't
Mhm.
have much to do in life.
Yeah.
It There will be better times, and one day you will feel that okay, this is good for me. Now I'm happy. This is what I wanted. Thank God that things
Mhm.
happened. Now I feel that thank God I was rejected in previous SSBs because they were
Exactly.
not into
Mhm.
aviation. I would
Okay.
not have been into aviation if I was selected that time because I gave SSBs just to get into the defense forces.
Okay.
Thank God I was rejected. Now I am where I wanted to be.
Yeah.
So, important thing is failure is very necessary.
Yes.
Once you fail, you work more, you work harder
Mhm.
to achieve what you want. And I actually deviated from the topic, the pressure that I told you. This,
Mhm.
what I told you, that my parents also started doubting. Once I cleared SSB, they were very happy. But then continuously, because I was not selected the previous three
Mhm.
SSBs, they said, okay, beta, it's okay. You just continue your IT profession. But then when I got into Navy, when I was selected into observer cadre, when I got my wings and I shared my pictures, those people who were telling me कि teacher बन जा, JBT कर ले, primary
Mhm.
teacher और ये they come now and they say कि यार आपकी बेटी ने तो बहुत अच्छा कर दिया wow. So na,
Yeah.
like this happens if you have decided to do something. If you know that you want this, you should continuously be in that direction only. You should not deviate from it. If you know that you want this career, you want to go here, unless there's no option left. So I feel for
Akshay.
a women
Mhm.
that pressure is for everyone.
Forever.
Yes.
I'm so much proud of you, whatever you shared, because I think you're way younger than me, and the type of focus you have in your life, the views you have towards failures, those are tremendous. And I'm 100% sure like you will do very well in your life. And again, like I cannot even thank you guys enough. Like I'm just so proud that at Vidya 5, within just the third session of speaker series, we have such a great personalities with us. Richa, over to you for the next section.
Yeah, so absolutely. The journeys that you guys shared, these are actually inspiring, the lessons about positivity and, the focus. I think it's really required in life for you to actually keep moving forward. So yeah, kudos to you guys. So now I'm going to actually talk a little bit about the perspective of special needs.
Yeah.
How uh, people with special needs can actually pursue these careers, and we'll talk about a bit. Okay. So I'll actually start with asking that how difficult do you think it is for um, people with special needs to have a stable career? So let's start with Harsh first.
Uh, I've got a question and I got what I need to answer.
Yeah.
I'll just deviate from the track a little and then I'll get back.
Sure.
Uh, since we've covered the part particularly catering to defense forces, as Akshay has already told us, getting into the armed forces requires a stipulated amount of criteria that you need to fulfill. First and foremost is you need to have the attitude. Aptitude will come. They'll ensure. You need to be moldable. They need to have they need to have clay that they can work on. They cannot work on a cement.
Yeah.
And then you need to have leadership hair. It is not fed. It is ingrown,
Makes sense.
right? So if somebody is into the forces and if somebody is elsewhere, it doesn't mean that you've not done good and that is why you're in the forces, and he or she has not done good and that is why he or she is somewhere else. You're good in your path and that is why you're pursuing it. No need to worry. I come back to the topic now. Children with special needs. Uh, for our career that we've chosen for our forces, uh, we're still not ready for it. We, uh, I'm sorry, when you say special needs, I they have to fit a particular medical criteria because that is a prerequisite.
Right.
So, so it is understandable that people just cannot get into the forces.
So
You have to, yes,
yeah, so
you,
probably I also wanted to ask that what do you
yeah,
think that people with special needs, is it easy for them to, make careers out of what they have? And
yeah,
by that I meant in any field, not
yes.
specifically to the forces. Yeah.
Uh, yes, they can. We, all of us, we've got beautiful examples. We've got Professor Hawking.
True.
We've got people. We've got people who inspire the world. So we know it is possible. It can be done. The only thing is the means and the wherewithal to take you there. So for that, again, special needs, as the term itself says, it requires a special need. So the resources that need to be pulled in, they need to be pulled in at the right time and in the right amount. That's where parents, that's where your guardians, that's where your loved ones come in picture. They have to nourish you from childhood. They have to bring you up. And then they need to instill confidence in you, which is probably more than people, the ordinary people like us. Then it will pull you through. Then you can probably cross the river. But yes, children with special needs are in no way less than anybody else. Uh, you know, when God closes one door, He'll probably open three more.
True.
So you are better at something which others cannot even dream of, right?
Exactly. Yeah. Makes
You are
sense.
probably good hair, you got the ability of art. So you have something. Just don't
Some
worry.
special skills that you can actually pay
So
attention to and hone.
yes, so special needs equals special skills.
True.
You have something. You just need to find out. And for that, we need special assistance. So that's where your people around you, they come in picture. They have to bring you up,
True.
right?
Right.
And as I've told, the we are really, I am really sorry. Not really uh, in, I'm not really conversant with the present and prevalent government policies for workplace, special needs, and the things which are in place to bring up people with special needs. but all I can say is with experience and with what I feel. This is what I feel and this is what I've seen. I've seen people I know, mothers I know, working day in and day out for their children. Uh, I've got I've got a friend. His nephew, he's got dyslexia. I've seen his mother. She's also a passer from our school. She was 10 years senior to us, and I've seen her. And uh, she left her job. She started freelancing so that she could devote more time to her son. Now, yeah, that young fellow is doing amazingly well now.
That's so
I
great.
see him. I see him play. Yes, he's up to the mark. I see him play. I see him going to the school. I see him learning, and he converses really well. And he'll get there. I'm sure he'll get there.
Right. I think that's a good story. And also the
Yes.
example of Stephen Hawking, which you shared earlier. I mean, he was a
Yeah.
genius. And
Yes.
yeah, I think it would be very inspiring for anyone to actually read about him and, how he went on
Yeah.
his journey and did things. Yeah.
I was lucky. I attended a concert in one of the theaters in Vienna where Mozart used to play.
Oh, okay.
He was that chap was he was out of this world. He was a prodigy.
He was so,
He was a person with special needs. You know that,
yes,
right? He was a person with special needs. And look what wonders he's done, what he's given to the world.
exactly.
So we've got examples. We can, it should never, the environment and the society should never bog you down.
True.
Right?
And also talking about special needs. So, like you mentioned about the government policies, and many
Yes.
companies also actually offer assistance in some ways to people with special needs. But do you think people who actually, who actually have these needs, do you think they are actually aware about it? What do you think, Akshay, about that? Do you think they are aware of what kind of policies are there, and how they can actually avail these policies?
For people who need special needs, I think uh, the people who are their guardians, their friends, I think they play a very important role in guiding them. So about their career, about their life, I think those people need to be educated about what they can do. Adding on to what Sir said, I read in some news that a naval officer's daughter, she's autistic, but she created, I don't know whether a Limca Book of Records or Guinness Book of
Hmm.
Record by swimming from Elephanta Cave till Gateway of India.
Wonderful.
Yes,
So,
Oh,
and
that's true.
she is autistic. There are so many officers children's which I have seen the news also, and I've heard also that they are into sports. Some are very good at shooting, some are very good at sailing, and all those are in need of special are for special need. I think their parents and the people who support them, they are actually because they supported them, that's why those persons, those children can do all these things. So if they are aware or not, I think their parents and their guardians must be aware of what they can do, and they can make their life much better.
yeah, yeah, makes sense. Right. Okay. And I would also like to discuss that how actually, other people who are, who are able and who have got all these skills, how do you think they can actually help people with special needs? Should we be given some kind of, should we spread awareness some way, or try to help out these people if they need the help? What do you think about it? Firstly, how will you tell us?
Yes. I can only suggest. I
Yeah,
think I have this in mind. I've had this in mind for a long time because I remember sitting and thinking about it once. If you remember, the new ministry that has been found, the Ministry of Ayush, which includes Ayurveda, Unani, Yoga. Are you aware of this university, this new ministry which has come into place?
Yes.
The government of India has got this new ministry which promotes uh, these things which are particular to India, which we were not promoting earlier.
Yeah.
So it's a very, yes, it's a very good initiative. So during International Yoga Day, which is celebrated every year now, it's a global event. They have given pamphlets of the basic asanas of yoga. So it's just like a flyer. It'll come out in a newspaper. It's available online. I myself was not aware of it. It's very simple. So it's just like a to-do list. It's a check-off list.
Mhm.
Mhm.
You just
Mhm.
see it. It's a pictorial representation, 1, 2, 3, 4, like a flowchart. You just do it and you're good to go.
Okay.
So I think the Ministry of Health and Family Welfare, they can probably chalk out a basic set of rules, a basic set of, I would say, probably a schematic diagram, pictorial representation of how you gradually go up, how parents, guardians, and other people can help children with special needs by doing these things. You start with this, and then you reach this level, and then you take part B, and then you reach this level.
Mhm.
It might not be the same for everybody since it is subjective, since all people are different, but then at least you have a way ahead,
Yeah.
right? Something can be chalked out with these specialists, with people who know how to cure, how to work on it, and then some amount of effort needs to be put in. Yes, definitely. Like Ministry of Ayush has done, they
Yeah.
have put in some effort.
I
So
think that's a very good take. Yeah. Yeah.
some, yes, so that when you see something, it is better perceived. That is why the concept of color coding,
Yes.
the concept of lane marking, these are all pictorial representation. Once something is vivid, you can focus more. You read it, you can probably not learn it, it'll just go in your head. But once you see something physically and it is pictorial, it'll have a longer impression.
Right.
So this is what I feel, so that even people who are not very literate, I would say, they can also help their children out. They can also help their young ones.
Right.
That's what I
Right.
feel.
That's a great suggestion, actually. Akshaya, do you have any differing suggestions to make?
Yeah, I have one additional point to this that I feel there are different schools also for these children, and I think the the children who are going to these schools are either from middle or upper middle class societies. So I feel the spreading of awareness is necessary towards the lower middle class or those people who doesn't know that the schools are there for these children also. I don't know the numbers. I have very less knowledge regarding the numbers, the number of schools in India we have. If there are less, then yes, we need to spread the awareness to create more schools for those children who cannot, those families who cannot afford their children to go to special schools. Because I have seen one family where we used to stay that the autistic boy, he used to be at home only. He never went to
Okay.
school. We were there only for 2 years. I feel that all those children should go to school. They should learn because school is the basic platform for having a better life. And
Yes.
there, if the people who don't know anything about these schools also, they will also have a perspective that what their children can do in life because they cannot be with them forever.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And that ways they can actually learn different kind of skills from,
Yeah.
different teachers who are coming in and teaching. Sounds pretty much correct. So, Karan, would you like to ask another set of questions?
Yeah, so for the next one, we will deep dive into your career journey. Like if someone wants to have the same career as you, like Harsh or Akshay, what steps they can do, what exams they have to give, and if you can share all those details, that would be really helpful for our viewers.
Okay. Okay. Uh, uh, Now there are two separate entries based on your gender, first of all. So
Mhm.
men, boys, they have different entries to defense forces, and then girls, ladies, they've got different entries to the defense forces. I'll start with the boys and men first. When I say boys, you got this entry immediately after your 12th standard.
Okay.
This is for the officer entry.
Okay.
See, once you're in the forces, you are either an officer or you're an OC.
Okay.
Now, officers can enter, they can take up this NDA exam. It's an exam conducted by UPSC. It's a centralized exam. They take this exam, they clear it, they got good rank, and then the merit list is out, and then you go for the SSB.
Okay.
Same, you got this exam for NDA is a tri-service training wing. It's a tri-service training academy, and individually for all three forces, they have their respective academies. The Indian Navy has INA, Indian Naval Academy. The Air Force has AFA, the Air Force Academy, and
Mhm.
Army has IMA, Indian Military Academy slash OTA, Officers Training Academy.
Okay.
So once you've done your 12th, you take this exam, you clear
Mhm.
it, you go for an SSB.
Okay.
I'll elaborate them subsequently. Then other is you complete your BTech.
Mhm.
Okay, I'll bring this to light. BTech is a prerequisite in Navy.
Okay.
BTech is a prerequisite, not BSc.
Okay.
Then you complete your BTech.
Excuse me,
There
sir.
is an
I
entry.
just want to add one thing
Yeah, BR can
regarding
all also will
Indian.
cover.
No, regarding BSc, the education department which they need to have a science background, most
Yeah,
importantly. And
PCM.
if they have done BSc, they need to
Hmm.
do a master's, that is MSc, in any science background. So
Yes.
that is also equivalent to BTech. So BTech equivalent.
So you can do either BTech or BSc,
BSc
comma
plus
MSc
masters.
plus
Plus,
masters. Okay.
But
yes.
yeah,
It,
this is
not just
BSc and
BSc.
BSc and Masters is specific to one cadre,
Education
Okay.
only.
dedication cadre.
Okay. Okay. Okay.
Yeah. Then this entry, which UES entry, which I was talking about. Once you are in the final year of your BTech, the Navy slash Air Force slash Army, they visit colleges, they visit campuses, they'll conduct an interview, they'll check if you are feasible, and then they'll again call you for an SSB if you're shortlisted.
Okay.
And then there's a simple one called direct entry, the one which I chose. I
Mhm.
completed my BTech and then I filled up a form. Uh, the headquarters, they decide a merit list, and then you're called for an SSB. This is a broad spectrum. Other than that, you've
Mhm.
got various cadres. You've got
Mhm.
people working in architecture. So students who've done architecture, the arc, they can get into it. Civil, it needs to be a degree in marine engineering, architecture. They enter into the architecture cadre. Because if we are running ships, there needs to be someone who's
Mhm.
making them also,
Okay.
right? So then we got engineering cadre. They're the ones who run the machinery, and so on and so forth. So the best way to learn about all possible entries is the website, the Indian Navy's website.
Okay.
It's called www.nausena
Okay.
bharti
Mhm. Okay.
nic.in.
Okay.
This is particularly for Indian Navy.
Mhm.
You'll find all the possible entries in this website. Same is for Army, same is for Air Force.
Okay.
Now, the various entries in all the three forces, if you're checking the eligibility criteria, this is all a basic prerequisite. Now, once you know that you're eligible, once you know that you're academically eligible, uh, you know that you fit the height, weight category, and probably weight is plus minus 5, 10 kilos, can be done. Everything can be done. They'll, they'll ensure you get there. What you need to have are a certain, it's actually quite complicated. I never knew, once, just like somebody who's cracked an IIT will say, "Yaar, ye to bahut easy exam hai, ye to kar sakte hain."
Mhm.
Right? It's only he who's taken that exam knows it. So for us also, it was like, "Yaar, ye to ho jayega." Just be yourself. We keep on telling people, just be yourself, don't fake around. But then we realize it's got a lot of science. So when you go in for an SSB, it's called Service Selection Board. So it's a board of officers who sit and they judge you. They decide if the person is eligible or is fit to join the forces. You get a center. You've got different SSB centers across India, of
Mhm.
which centers are dedicated for Indian Navy and Army and Air Force, so on and so forth. Understandably, Army has more SSB centers because their intake is much more.
Okay.
So once you enter the SSB, there are a fixed set of exams, there are a fixed set of tasks that you need to go. So a huge chunk of people are coming and going to the SSB. They need to filter out.
Mhm.
So
Okay.
it's a sieve. So the first day, it's called screening in. As the name suggests, they got a screen. The ones who
Mhm.
they think are eligible will stay, and the others will just pack their bags and go home the next day. It's very simple. No time wasting. So in that, there are a certain set of tests, visual perception. In that, they basically want to see your psyche. They want to see if you are mentally fit, if you are
Mhm.
moldable enough, and how positive you are, so that they can work on you. They have to work on you. That is for granted because you're just fresh, you're crude. They need to make diamond out of you. So, uh, the screening in, once you're screened in, for example, 200 people take that exam the first day, and probably 20 or 30 will be screened in. After that, you got 4 or 5 days of the remaining tasks. That involves your group tasks where they see
Mhm.
if you're physically fit, if you can do a certain amount of things. Then they check if you have this ability to take decisions. They'll ask you to make a plan. They'll give you a situation and they'll ask you to make a plan. Probably there's
Mhm.
bombardment somewhere, you need to take out a high value unit and so on and so forth. So they are checking your aptitude, they are checking your physical ability, and they are checking if you are a leader here. Rest they'll do.
Mhm.
If someone, they find out if someone has this slight escapist attitude,
Mhm.
they are trained psychologists. They are trained psychologists. They know. They are continuously monitoring you. That is why they're always wearing sunglasses. You cannot see where they're looking.
Okay.
Initially, we thought that it's just part of their outlook. but it's got a reason. You cannot see where they are seeing. So the moment they see that the person is escapist, or the person doesn't have the leadership qualities, he's probably pushing others ahead and then he's staying behind, he or she's staying behind. They'll mark it. They are monitoring your every move. So all you need to do is have the attitude. Rest they'll do.
Mhm.
So the thing which our parents teach us, and the thing which goes
Mhm.
on from childhood, it's the same. You're positive, you're good to go. There's finally something called personal interview, PI. It's
Mhm.
conducted by the president. The board president is usually a one-star officer, and this interview, I'll tell you, Karan, it's one of the elaborate interviews that somebody can have. They have read in and out about you. The moment
Mhm.
you enter in that room, they know where you're from, where you've done your schooling, who are your friends, what are your hobbies. They know everything, but they will project as if they know nothing and then they'll extract information out of you. So it's a clear indicative of the fact they'll check how honest the person is, how his body
Mhm.
language is, if his legs are shaking, his thighs are trembling, his hands are moving. They'll keep on monitoring him because there's one psychiatric officer, psychologic officer. We call it TO. Akshay is the right term. Psychologic
Yes,
officer.
sir.
What is he called? We call him psych. So in the it's psych, GTO, and board president. So the psychs are sitting behind you. You won't see him or her. They're hidden.
Okay.
They're monitoring you. So once you are in this interview, in my case particularly, my board president he asked me, so what sports do you like? I told him, sir, I've played table tennis at the
Mhm.
district and state level. So he told, your school has a good ground. Why didn't you take up football?
Mhm.
I- I'm wondering how has he been to my school? How does he know what my school has? What teachers and facilities my school has? I'm taking this interview in Coimbatore, Tamil Nadu. I've done my schooling from Delhi. How does this chap know so much? Then my horses are running. Okay? He knows he's done his own. So you cannot fool them. You just cannot fool them. He asked me relevant questions regarding my professional achievements. He asked me relevant questions to BTech IT. They were very appropriate. They were very relevant.
Mhm.
Nothing out of the ordinary. And the ones which I did not know of, I honestly told them, sir, I do not know offhand. I'm forgetting. I'll probably learn, and if you want me, I can let you know. Very simple. So they know that something, they know everything basically. And there's this OC entry. This is for the officer entry. Uh, I'll request Akshaya will cover
Mhm.
the ladies and girls entry.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
The other is in the entry for OC, which is the ORs, uh, the other ranks who are not officers. They've got multiple entries. Again, it is mentioned in the website.
Mhm.
They have entries starting from 10th standard, somebody who's completed his 10th, and then 12th, and then diploma holders. So they've got multiple
Okay.
entries as well. I'd like to bring forward a point. It's not that entry to the defense is just the officer entry. It's not, nothing of that sort.
Okay.
Men and women in the forces together, they run the show. So if in a unit, in a cadre, the officers are the decision makers or the rule, the rules which are trickling down, they have to ensure and they have to follow the orders. But the men, they are the enablers. They are the ones who are helping everybody to achieve the targets. So if anybody feels कि अगर मैंने officer entry नहीं की है defense forces में, so it's a waste. It's not that. Nothing of that sort. You are as good and you are respected. So this needs to be very clear. Presently, the young lads who are joining forces in the other rank cadres, who's not an officer, they join as young as 17 years old, 18 years old. So once they've joined, they got very decent, handsome salaries. Government is paying them good. They're taking care of their families. We have people who got a lot of economic backload back home. I see them clearing it all. So uh, if this is one of the factors that you're looking into, the salary aspect, which is usually not looked into once you're joining the forces, even if it is quite handsome. You live a comfortable life. Everything is taken care of. It's a societal living, so it is taken care of. People need not worry about it. So the entries and how people can enter into the forces, basic idea these websites will give you. And what you need here is positivity. Very simple. I'll request Akshaya if she can cover the entry for ladies and girls.
Yes, sir. So in Navy particularly, we only have women in officer cadre. But in Army, they have started taking women as Jawans also. So I would like students to, like wherever they want to go, because everybody at this point of time has internet facility. You go to that particular website, which sir has also told, or if you don't know, you just Google Indian Naval website. They can go there and thoroughly read everything, whether they are eligible or not, and what all entries they are eligible for. So for women, there is only officer entry in Navy, and as sir said, BSc plus masters, and
Okay.
particularly they select BTech. Previously, till my time, and for a few more years, they used to select based on your percentage in your graduation. But now, because I have a junior who contacted me for her SSB, Navy has started taking the entrance exam also. Because Air Force and Army, they have entrance exams, but Navy did not have this. They only had the merit list. But now you need to give the entrance exam too. So everything that you want to know in detail will be in the website. And if you want to know about any cadre, like suppose I am an observer, sir, like various entries, you can read what they do. That is also there in the website. What observers are, what do pilots do in Indian Navy? That is also written in the website very clearly. Um, that is all for female officers what they can do. And for Jawans also, go to Indian Army page, see what all they are eligible for. If you want to join, what they do, that is also written there. So you should read thoroughly that what you are going to pursue,
Yeah.
and then only give the exam.
Thank you. Those are very detailed answer, and I'm sure like all our viewers will be really happy, and they have a lot of information. And we will put this website like when we are putting this video on our website, we will add the website there so that they can easily access it. Thank you.
Yeah.
Thank you so much. Thank you so much for this information. Yes, Richa, for the last section.
Yeah, this is a fun section though. So we'll talk a little bit about your personal life. So what do you like to do in your free time? What hobbies do you have? So let's start with Akshay this time.
Okay. Uh, I really like to play outdoor games, so I'm so lucky to be in defense service that we have so many adventurous activities and so many sports that guys I learned sailing for some time when I was in Kochi,
Nice.
and it's all for free that you can do in defense forces. That is the best part. I
You
started
earned it.
playing squash also. Yeah. So I started playing squash. I really liked it. I never played, but whoever is playing with you, they teach you, and the environment is such that even if you are a knife, they try and teach you. They don't feel that, okay, I want to play alone. I want to because this is my time and this is my schedule. Everybody will teach you. You can approach anyone, and I have started running also. I generally do outdoor activities more, and also swimming. I was a dead swimmer, what we call in academy. I didn't know swimming at all. And in Navy, it is mandatory to pass the swimming test. It is every 6 months that we do. And I've started enjoying that too. So whenever I get time, I go outside and do whatever I feel like. I play or I do swimming.
Nice. That's actually wonderful to
One
hear.
more thing, one more thing I
Yeah,
would like
yeah.
to add in Kochi, that we have the gliders we have. You can go and approach the trainers. If you have seen the kite, like the gliders,
Yes.
they can train you. You can get trained. You can do that also. If you want to go for a sailing expedition, you can approach that too. If you want to do any adventurous activities, if you want to enroll for that, like mountaineering, they have those courses too. So I feel very lucky to be into courses that I
Wow,
can do so many
yeah,
things.
that's pretty interesting actually. Nice. Okay, and how about you, Harsh? What do you like to do?
Hmm, that's a good question. Uh, there are a lot of things which I picked up after I joined forces, uh, because your horizons open, and a lot of things which are not we are not privy of when we are not in the forces. So I picked up rowing and pulling when I was in the academy, and I found myself to be doing good in that. So uh, yes, I do a lot of rowing and pulling whenever I have an option. I was part of uh, the Eastern Seaboard. So the controlling authority of the Eastern Seaboard is ENC, East Naval Command. West is WNC, Western Naval Command. So I was the part of uh, pulling regattas, uh, both sides. So rowing and pulling, it's a lot of fun. And other than that, my particular hobby is I am a petrol head, as the Britishers used to they like calling it. I have this fascination towards motors, engines, automobiles. So I read about it. I used to write a blog about automobiles when I was not part of the forces, but then it has stopped now
I
because
didn't
we
know
try.
that.
Yeah. So I've stopped it for now, but I've not stopped reading about what I like. And yes, we go out, we play, and me and my wife we picked up badminton recently, and then this global pandemic it came upon us. So for now, it is on hold, and we're just waiting for the courts to open again. And yeah, it's a it's a
That,
wonderful life.
yeah, that's pretty interesting. Yeah.
Yeah,
I
Thank you.
think people would really be motivated to, see that they can choose from so many adventurous activities once they join forces. So apart
yeah,
from, living that lifestyle and also, working as part of the forces, they also get to enjoy it in different ways, and that's
yeah.
pretty exciting to know.
Yes.
Thank you. Thank you so much, Akshay and Harsh. Like, I'm incredibly, like, I cannot even express you how thankful I am for you guys, and especially for everyone in armed forces. Because of you guys, we have India. So from every one of us, like a grand salute to all of you. Thank you for your service and thank you so much for spending your weekend with us. And I'm really sure like this is very useful for each of our viewers. Thank you so much for your time.
Thank you so much.
Thank you, Karan.
Thank
Thank you,
you.
Risha. Thanks. Thanks for having us.
Thank you.